It was 8:17 on a Friday morning in Plano, Texas. The line inside a neighborhood coffee shop stretched almost to the front door. Most people were checking emails before work or scrolling through the morning headlines. A television above the counter quietly played a financial news network while customers waited for their orders. Near the pickup counter stood a 41-year-old high school science teacher named Owen Carter. He wasn't paying much attention to the coffee. His eyes never left his phone. For nearly 3 years, Owen had followed one company more closely than almost anything else in the market: SpaceX. He watched every successful rocket launch, every Starship test, every announcement about satellite internet, every government contract, and every interview discussing the future of space exploration. He admired almost everything about the business. Like millions of Americans, he had spent years hoping that one day ordinary investors would finally have the opportunity to own a piece of it. That morning, the opportunity had finally arrived. SpaceX had begun trading on the public market. The financial news anchors sounded almost breathless. One of the most anticipated IPOs in modern history. A defining moment for retail investors. Demand is overwhelming. Every few seconds, another headline appeared across the bottom of the screen. Record trading volume, shares surging. Analysts raising price targets before lunch. The stock climbed almost faster than Owen could refresh his screen. His original plan had been simple. Invest $5,000. Hold it for at least 10 years. Ignore the daily price swings. But as the shares continued climbing, his plan quietly changed. 5,000 became 10,000, then 15. If I really believe this company could reshape the future, he thought, why am I holding anything back? The decision suddenly felt obvious. He pressed buy. Within seconds, his order was filled. For the rest of the morning, Owen couldn't stop smiling. It felt like he had finally become part of history. What he didn't realize was that he hadn't simply bought an extraordinary business. He had also agreed to pay whatever price the market happened to demand during one of the most emotional trading days in years. Those are not the same decision. And understanding the difference has quietly made some investors wealthy while costing others years of disappointing returns. This video isn't about whether SpaceX is a remarkable company. It very well may become one of the greatest businesses of this generation. This also isn't about predicting where its stock will trade next month or even next year. It's about something much more important. The difference between buying a great company and making a great investment. Because history has shown that those two ideas often drift much farther apart than most people realize. My name is Theo, and I've spent years studying how emotions influence investment decisions, especially during moments when excitement reaches its highest level. Again and again, I found that the most expensive investing mistakes rarely begin with bad companies. They begin with good companies that investors become willing to buy at almost any price. If you're interested in becoming a calmer and more disciplined investor, take a moment to like this video and subscribe if you enjoy thoughtful conversations about building long-term wealth. Now let's talk about why some of the world's greatest businesses have also produced some of the market's biggest investing disappointments. One of the strangest things about the stock market is that rise in prices make people feel safer. Think about how we behave almost everywhere else. If a used truck suddenly doubled in price overnight, most buyers would become skeptical. If the house across the street jumped from $600,000 to $1 million in 2 weeks, your first reaction probably wouldn't be excitement. You would ask questions. What changed? Why is it suddenly worth so much more? Am I paying too much? But the stock market often reverses that logic. When prices rise quickly, people rarely ask whether something has become more expensive. Instead, they wonder how much higher it might go. Psychologists have studied this behavior for decades. Human beings naturally look to other people for clues when facing uncertainty. If thousands of investors appear eager to buy the same stock, our brains quietly assume they know something we don't. Sometimes that's true. Very often, it isn't. Sometimes everyone is simply reacting to everyone else. That's how excitement becomes contagious. And that's why markets occasionally separate price from value. Price tells you what people are willing to pay today. Value represents what the business is actually capable of producing over many years. Those two numbers can move together, but they don't always. Imagine two companies that each earn $10 billion a year. Both continue growing at similar rates. Both dominate their industries. One trades at 25 times annual earnings. The other trades at 60 times earnings. Which investment offers the better opportunity? Most new investors immediately focus on the companies. Experienced investors focus on the prices. Because your investment return depends on two things: how well the business performs, and how much you paid to own it. Even an extraordinary company can produce mediocre returns if investors begin with unrealistic expectations. That isn't pessimism. It's mathematics. That's one of the reasons famous companies often become surprisingly difficult investments. The more impressive the story becomes, the more investors begin projecting perfect outcomes far into the future. They imagine stronger revenue, higher profits, faster innovation, new markets, global dominance. Eventually, today's price starts reflecting not only what the company has already accomplished, but everything investors hope it will accomplish over the next decade. When that happens, the business has very little room left to surprise anyone. A company doesn't need to disappoint for its stock to struggle. Sometimes it simply needs to perform slightly below impossible expectations. History has shown this more than once. Many of the most celebrated public offerings attracted enormous excitement during their first days of trading. Some eventually became outstanding businesses. But investors who paid the highest prices often waited years just to break, even because expectations had run too far ahead of reality. The business kept improving. The valuation simply had nowhere left to go. That's why professional investors spend so much time asking a question that sounds almost boring. What assumptions are already built into today's price? Suppose a company is valued at $500 billion. Can it become worth $1 trillion? Absolutely. Can it become worth $2 trillion? Perhaps, but those outcomes require years of exceptional execution. Management has to continue making smart decisions. Customers must keep buying. Competition must remain manageable. Profit margins need to stay healthy. Economic conditions can't become too unfavorable. When investors pay extremely high valuations, they aren't just buying a company. They're buying a long list of optimistic assumptions. And the longer that list becomes, the smaller the margin for error. That's exactly where many individual investors unknowingly get into trouble. A registered nurse from Columbus, Ohio named Lauren Mitchell had spent years investing consistently through her retirement account. She wasn't trying to beat the market. She simply believed in owning great businesses for a long time. When one of the biggest IPOs in recent years captured national attention, nearly everyone around her seemed convinced it would be an easy winner. Her coworkers discussed it during breaks. Financial podcasts called it a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Her social media feed became filled with people celebrating their first-day profits. Lauren almost joined them. Then she remembered a rule she had written in her investing journal years earlier. Never confuse excitement with evidence. Instead of buying immediately, she spent the weekend reading the company's financial statements, comparing its valuation with similar businesses, and estimating how much future growth was already reflected in the share price. She reached a simple conclusion. The company itself looked exceptional. The stock price looked demanding, so she waited. Not because she doubted the business. Because she respected uncertainty. Several months later, market enthusiasm cooled. Trading volume slowed. Analysts began discussing risks instead of possibilities. The stock eventually traded well below its opening price. Lauren bought her shares then. She owned exactly the same business as investors who rushed in on day one. The difference wasn't the company. It was the price she agreed to pay. Across the country, someone else made the opposite decision. A self-employed kitchen remodeling contractor from Oregon named Derek Lawson had always believed that successful investing meant acting quickly. Whenever he saw a stock rising sharply, he interpreted it as confirmation that the market was validating his opinion. During a widely celebrated public offering, he invested nearly all of the money he had been saving to replace his work truck. For several weeks, everything seemed perfect. The stock kept climbing, friends congratulated him. He checked his portfolio dozens of times every day. Then something unexpected happened. The company reported another quarter of impressive growth. Revenue increased. Customer demand remained strong. Management even raised long-term guidance. Yet the stock declined anyway. Derek couldn't understand it. How could a business deliver good news while shareholders lost money? The answer was surprisingly simple. Investors had already expected even better news. Markets don't reward companies for being successful. They reward companies for exceeding expectations. Once expectations become unrealistically high, even excellent performance can feel disappointing. That's a lesson almost every experienced investor learns eventually. A wonderful business and a wonderful investment are separated by one critical variable: valuation. Ignoring that variable is a little like buying a beautiful home without looking at the asking price. The property may be everything you've ever wanted. That doesn't mean any price is reasonable. The stock market works the same way. Only the emotions move much faster. Those emotions become even stronger because of something most investors rarely think about: supply and demand. When a famous company first begins trading publicly, millions of people may want to buy immediately. But the number of shares available on the first day is limited. That imbalance can push prices sharply higher without changing the business itself. Imagine your favorite team reaches the championship game. The stadium hasn't become larger. The seats aren't more comfortable. The game hasn't started. Yet ticket prices often double or triple, simply because too many people want too few tickets. The experience didn't suddenly become 2 or 3 times more valuable. Demand changed. The underlying product did not. Stocks behave in much the same way. A surge of buyers can lift prices dramatically over a short period of time. But demand alone cannot permanently increase a company's intrinsic value. Eventually, the excitement fades and investors begin asking more practical questions. How quickly are profits growing? Can management continue delivering? Are customers staying loyal? Is the current valuation still justified? Over long periods, those questions matter far more than opening day enthusiasm. That's why patient investors often gain an advantage that has nothing to do with intelligence. They simply allow time to replace emotion with information. The first few earnings reports reveal whether management delivers on its promises. Competition becomes easier to evaluate. Growth estimates become more realistic. Instead of making decisions during the loudest moment, they invest when the conversation becomes quieter. That patience can feel uncomfortable. Watching a stock rise without you is never enjoyable. Our brains naturally focus on the gains we might be missing rather than the risks we may be avoiding. Behavioral economists call this loss aversion. Ironically, people often fear missing potential profits more than they fear losing actual money. That emotional imbalance has fueled countless investment bubbles throughout history. The names of the companies change. The industries change. The technology changes. Human psychology remains remarkably consistent. So how can individual investors avoid falling into that trap? The first step is surprisingly simple. Separate your opinion of the business from your opinion of the stock. You can admire a company's products, leadership, and long-term future while still believing its shares are too expensive today. Those beliefs don't contradict each other. In fact, many professional investors hold them at the same time. The second step is to estimate what has to happen for today's price to make sense. Does the company need 10 years of flawless execution? Does it need profit margins to remain unusually high? Does it need to dominate an entire industry with very few setbacks? The more perfect the future must be, the less room there is for unexpected challenges. The third step is to remove urgency from your decision-making. Markets will always create another opportunity. There will always be another earnings report, another correction, another period when expectations become more reasonable. The belief that you must act today is often created by headlines, not by fundamentals. Many disciplined investors also reduce emotional pressure by investing gradually rather than all at once. Instead of trying to identify the perfect entry point, they build positions over weeks or months. If prices rise, part of their money participates. If prices fall, future purchases happen at more attractive valuations. It's not about predicting short-term movements. It's about reducing the cost of being wrong. No strategy eliminates risk, but disciplined processes often eliminate many unnecessary mistakes. In the end, the question isn't whether SpaceX or any extraordinary company can continue changing the world. It very well might. The more important question is whether the price you pay today gives you a reasonable chance of sharing in that success. Because investing isn't about owning the most exciting story. It's about converting business success into shareholder returns. Those two outcomes are connected, but they are never identical. Some of the greatest fortunes in investing were built by people who understood that distinction and refused to let excitement make their decisions for them. Years from now, almost nobody will remember the exact price where a famous stock opened on its first trading day. What will matter is whether investors paid a price that left room for the business to exceed expectations. Long-term wealth has never depended on being the first person to buy a remarkable company. It has depended on buying remarkable businesses with remarkable discipline. So if you ever find yourself staring at a screen while a stock races higher and everyone around you insists that you have to act immediately, pause for a moment. Ask yourself one question. Am I buying a great business, or am I simply chasing everyone else's excitement? That single question won't predict the future. But it may save you from one of the most expensive mistakes an investor can make, because patience isn't about missing opportunities. It's about waiting until opportunity and value finally meet. And over a lifetime of investing, that quiet discipline has rewarded far more people than excitement ever has. Before you invest in any company, whether it's SpaceX or the next headline dominating financial news, remember that the market is always offering two different things: a business and a price. You don't control how exciting the story becomes. You don't control how enthusiastic other investors feel. You don't control tomorrow's opening price. But you do control one decision: whether you're willing to pay today's price. That single choice has shaped more investing outcomes than almost anything else. The investors who consistently build wealth aren't the ones who chase every opportunity. They're the ones who patiently wait for opportunities that make financial sense. Because over the long run, discipline compounds just as powerfully as capital. Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep thinking independently, stay patient, and remember, a great company can change the world. A rational investor knows that the price you pay determines how much of that success you actually get to keep.